On this episode of WGTV, change is on the rise for parking lot policies.
On the blocked exits, there's going to be cones. We have cameras at all the entrance and exit points, so if anybody tries to move the cones and leave without, leave the coned area, they'll be found.
One English teacher was not defined by childhood trauma.
Eventually, it got to the point where my mom was so unwell that I had to be removed from my house.
And an athlete on the court defies the odds of his injury.
After the game, immediately after we shook hands, I came around and broke down in tears.
These stories and more on this episode of WGTV.
Good afternoon, Wildcats, and thank you for tuning to this episode of WGTV. Live from the Grove, I'm Olivia Cook.
And I'm Camila Salinas.
We have many exciting stories coming up, but first, Camila's going to catch you up on what's been happening at the Grove. Camila?
Thanks, Olivia. Next week continues Walnut Grove's 12 days of holiday cheer. Today is PJs and hot cocoa, and one day will be holiday headgear and socks. I might be all business looking right now, but I am in the festive spirit with my PJ pants.
Me too. I'm repping the Grove with mine.
Check your email for more information on the dress-up days after Monday. Students are still able to vote for Christopher Williams for the Dave Campbell Texas Football Whataburger Super Team. Voting is open until December 31st, and you can vote an unlimited number of times. The Prosper ISD Board approved the 2026 to 2027 academic calendar, where the first day of school is August 11th and the last day is May 20th. Not only have these dates changed, but staff professional development days have as well. One of Prosper's biggest events of the year, the Christmas Festival, is taking place in downtown Prosper tomorrow.
One of our biggest events of the year is coming up on December 6th. Our Prosper Christmas Festival will take place right here in downtown Prosper. It's going to be bigger than ever. We've got entertainment going on the stage all afternoon, and it'll kick off with the Prosper Christmas Parade that afternoon that's sponsored by our Rotary Club. So December 6th will be a day of fun in downtown Prosper.
Remember, this takes place December 6th from 3 to 7, so make sure you stop by for a Santa's workshop, cookie decorating, live entertainment, and more.
Starting on December 8th, the Grove will be implementing new rules for the parking lot. Christopher Munchmeyer looks into these future changes for students.
Your daily drive on and off campus is taking a sharp turn. Starting December 8th, all entry and exit points to the Walnut Grove campus will be blocked off with cones to secure the school and protect students' instructional time.
On the blocked exits, there's going to be cones. We have cameras at all the entrance and exit points, so if anybody tries to move the cones and leave without, leave the coned area, they'll be found. Starting at 9 a.m. in the morning, we'll block the exits until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then there's going to be one entrance and exit area that's going to be open for people to come and go. I mean, everybody coming and leaving campus has to go through that area.
The new parking lot policies aren't just integrated to prevent students from skipping class, but as a way to keep them safe.
We're wanting to limit the access for our entry and exit points, mainly to increase our campus security. The biggest part I don't think a lot of people understand is like we're responsible for you guys when you're here. And so anytime that you leave campus and we don't know about it, then if something were to happen to you, obviously that's a huge issue.
As the policy prevents students and others from entering the campus unapproved, it ensures students are responsibly using their time, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And the reason we're doing that is because it helps with student accountability, helps the school be able to make sure that the students aren't leaving without authorization, and also helps with safety in the parking lot, so we don't have just people being able to drive in and out that don't necessarily belong here.
These changes help create a more secure and accountable environment for students and educators. For WGTV, I'm Christopher Munchmeyer.
With these new procedures in place, make sure to abide by the rules and drive safely.
The clothing brand Shein is being investigated by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton for potential violations of the Texas law relating to unethical labor practices and the sale of unsafe consumer products. The investigation is currently going on, and it has not been determined if these laws have been broken. Uber rides have been changed with the driverless rideshare option, and it is currently coming to Dallas. You can get a driverless taxi when you choose to get an Uber X, Uber Comfort, or Uber Comfort Electric, which might lead to an AV ride robotaxi with no cost added. pennies have not been in production for 23 days, leaving stores stuck with nickels, dimes, and quarters only. Jackson Kingerski looks into how this national decision has affected business in Prosper.
Earlier this year, America made the difficult decision to part with their pennies. And on November 12th, the very last batch was made. With the value of the penny being very low, the history and nostalgia of pennies are some of the only reasons the coin will be missed.
From a personal standpoint, I think, like I said, it's more of a nostalgia type thing. I don't really use them anymore. I don't really collect them. I don't do anything like that like I used to. So to me, it's I can give or take how it does. I don't use them personally anymore here at the restaurant or in my personal life. Everything seems to be rounded up, or they're asking you to round up. So, and mostly in this digital age, it's kind of become non-useful.
Because of this change, some believe that other coins are soon to go on the chopping block when it comes to discontinuing other types of currency.
It does kind of make sense that we wouldn't have a penny anymore just because of how quickly most of us are moving either to credit or debit. Cash isn't really used as often. It makes up maybe 3% of our sales are cash transactions versus like credit or debit. So it would make sense that eventually some parts of cash are going to be cut altogether. Maybe eventually we'll see no coins ever used again.
Despite the discontinuation, many pennies will remain in circulation for years to come. The real question is when you'll spend your last penny. For WGTV, I'm Jackson Kingerski.
When carrying cash, remember that most stores are no longer accepting penny payment and have a different approach on how they take cash. The popular app called Vine was shut down in January of 2017, but is now looking to make a comeback in a new app called Divine, backed by Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey. This is bringing back over 100,000 archived Vine videos. It is available now at divine.video.
Mrs. Fellmet uses her passion for literature to connect with her students. However, this runs deeper than a few lectures. Emma McQuitty has the story.
From birth until, I guess, around 12, it was very calm.
Growing up in a two-parent home in small-town Bonham, Texas, English teacher Haley Fellmet has had a stereotypical childhood. It wasn't until after her 12th birthday, her once tranquil home turned into a place she could no longer find comfort. Her parents divorced, her father's health started to decline, and her mother turned to drugs, leaving Fellmet to care for herself and her 3-year-old brother for weeks at a time.
Eventually, it got to the point where my mom was so unwell that I had to be removed from my house. And so what had happened was I went to go live with my best friend, and they eventually ended up adopting me. But that time period was so tumultuous and very uncertain. And within that time period, also, my dad ended up passing away. And so I went from this very sort of, just calm life, really, to, in a matter of 3 years, losing everybody.
Moving in with her best friend was short-lived. Her adoptive mother took her money from the state and Social Security to buy luxuries for the other children, ostracizing and not even providing Fellmet with a bed. It wasn't until she was reading The Glass Castle in her English class she found a way to start reconnecting with her mother through books.
So I sent her a copy of the book to whatever address I found on Facebook. She read it, she wrote me a letter back, and then we started kind of going back and forth. But I don't think we really reconnected until recently. But I can see how life takes a toll, and I became a lot more empathetic towards her.
Since Fellmet was a ward of the state, she was able to attend university for no cost, giving her a final push to pursue her passion of literature and become a teacher, giving her students the same safe space she gained through school.
And really throughout all of this, school was kind of the backbone. That's the safe place I had. In high school it was safe, and then in college it became safe. And now in my career, I get to be in a school every single day, and so it feels like through it all, academics, education, reading specifically has been something that I've been able to hang on to.
The reassurance books has given Fellmet throughout her lifetime has only supported her in her relationship with her mother, letting her flip on to the next chapter of their connection. For WGTV, I'm Emma McQuitty.
So you don't have to be that far into it.
Mrs. Fellmet's upbringing has reflected the way she cares for her students, offering them the same space she once found comfort in. Starting a new chapter in this segment, Luke Kemper is in studio with your sports recap. Luke.
Thanks, Livia. Wildcat football went to Week 12 with an 11-0 record to play the Lubbock Cooper Pirates. Lubbock was on the board first but fumbled the extra point, only putting up 6. The Wildcats quickly responded with a shot downfield to none other than number 0, Zayden Crane. After that, the Wildcats will put up 48 unanswered points to win the game. A heroic effort falls short as the Wildcats go into Week 13 with a 12-0 record to play the 11-1 Argyle Eagles. The Eagles drove down the field first and kicked a field goal to land the game's first points. Cam Newton took it personal and responded with 2 rushing touchdowns, giving the Wildcats the lead in the first quarter. The Wildcats and Eagles would go score for score after this, while the Eagles found their way ahead and won the game 59-42. After an all-out game putting up 300 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing, Hayes Hackney shared his remarks with me on the sideline.
Hayes Hackney, maybe one of the toughest defenses you've played all season. You did decipher them a little bit though, and you got a couple throws downfield. What was the toughest challenge to this game, and how did you overcome that?
Just when we went down, 10 going into half, I think it killed the momentum a little bit. But just everyone coming out of half and still just having energy and, not giving up and not pouting and just keep fighting.
I mean, you got players like Cam Newton and Hayden Cooley that are always just going to keep fighting for you. So are those the kind of people that keep your energy up and the team's energy up, or do you do that mostly yourself?
Yeah, it's good. It's great to have guys on the team who are, just willing to go out and fight every single play and not give up no matter if we're down or whatever's going on.
As a sophomore, Hackney put up 3,100 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, and 200 yards on the ground. Moving to 6A next year, with the experience gained in the 5A District of Doom and in challenging games like Argyle, it will definitely be vital in the tough competition of 6A football. As football wraps up, basketball is tipping off in full force, with the boys ending this week with a 7-2 record after a win against Byron Nelson. Nelson took the lead in the first quarter, going up 18-10, but going into the half, the Wildcats were up 34-28. Colin Anderson was a key player in the game, putting up 17 points for the Wildcats, and Chase Brooks followed with a close 15. Likewise, the girls' basketball team won on Tuesday against Frisco Lone Star, 52-37. The girls ended the first quarter with the lead and never lost sight. The girls will head into next week with a 12-3 record. As the boys start their season, Ryan Shelton looks into how one player overcame the impossible.
With his basketball career starting at only 5 years old, senior point guard Chase Brooks has always seen a future involving the court. It wasn't until last March during practice he broke 2 bones and tore ligaments in his ankle. His plans came to a halt, and he had to get a tightrope device installed and surgery to repair one of his major ligaments.
When I started to get better and I started doing physical therapy, the doctor and my physical therapist said that I wasn't going to be able to play my senior year. And just having that go through my head was just really hard for me, just being upset constantly. And during that time, I was like, no, I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to try to make my own odds and try to do what I need to do to get back on the floor.
His absence wasn't taken lightly. The team quickly had to shift and find out how they would play without him.
The starting lineup was all messed up, and we didn't know what our team was going to look like successful-wise. And especially with the leadership side, I think me and him do a good job with leading our team. And with him not there, it was just a big missing piece of the team.
The team wouldn't have to play without him for long. Brooks' recovery was quicker than expected, and he was able to play at the beginning of the season, scoring a whopping 22 points in his first game back. After the game, overflowing with emotion, he broke down to his parents, feeling the joy of having a basketball back in his hands.
You're back, man.
With his time away from the court, helping him hone in his mindset.
He tries to be thinking about his teammates. You kind of see when guys need a little bit of a pick-me-up. When we started out our season, it was just constant conversations he was having with our younger guys or our less experienced guys. And then, whether that be in practice or before games and in between timeouts and quarters, but you can literally see him on the floor do things where he's, trying to get his teammates going.
Now, Brooks wants his future to focus not only on being there to improve other players' performance, but their mental state behind the game.
My dream is to become to open my own business, open my own facility where I teach kids and train them how to play basketball and also have a mental aspect of it. But I just want to be there for kids that struggle on the mental side.
He currently mentors younger players by not only teaching technique, but also supporting his students at games, driving them to practices, and helping them work on their mentality. For WGTV, I'm Ryan Shelton.
Brooks' recovery shows that hard work and support from coaches and teammates can't keep a determined athlete off the court. That's all for your sports recap. For WGTV, I'm Luke Kemper. Back to you, Olivia and Camilla.
Thank you, Luke. That's all we have for today's episode. For WGTV, I'm Camila Salinas.
And I'm Olivia Cook. Thanks for watching, and remember, Wildcats, set the standard.